A very good evening to everybody and welcome to another Oblivion Plays video. Today we're at London Heathrow for a change from the usual Manchester International Airport, and we'll be flying the Toliss A319 to Geneva, which is a newly released airport from Aerosoft. So I thought we'd go check that out and showcase it for you guys. And without any further ado, let's jump into the cockpit. So we're cold and dark, so you guys can follow me as a kind of semi-tutorial on how to start up the Toliss A319 from cold and dark conditions. First thing you need to do is get on the batteries, bat 1, bat 2, and then power up with the external power. You turn on you attach the external power using the Toliss ISCS interactive simulation control system screen. First things you need to do is get on your add-ons or IRS. Wait for the on bat light to switch off before you put on the next one. So it goes 1, 2, and then 3. And then you can switch on the fuel pumps. And then working down, we're pretty full today, so on a kind of normal day with kind of half or less passengers, you'd go on the low pack flow, or if you've got a significant number of passengers or it's a particularly hot day, you go up to normal, or if it's really hot, you can go up to high. And then the next thing you need to do is basically sort out your lights. So we go for the nav light, logo it as well if you're in the dark. Arm the emergency lights, and then the passenger signs, the seatbelt signs on, and no smoking as well. And then moving down, we just need to increase the brightness of our displays, so the primary flight display. Now with the ND, the outer, kind of counterintuitively, the outer ring actually is for the weather radar, whereas the little tiny small one is actually the one that affects the display itself. And then the two center displays, the ECAS displays, are found here. And then you can just increase the brightness of your flight computers as well. And then moving over to the first officer's side, just do the same. Okay, so I'll bring up the flight computer so it's a little bit clearer for you guys, rather than doing it on the 3D one. So go to the init page. So I was about to put Echo Golf Lima Lima in there, Echo Golf Charlie Charlie in there, but of course we're actually at Echo Golf Lima Lima. And then the airport code for Geneva is Lima Sierra Golf Golf. And click the Align IRS button to start the calibration of the IRSs. We'll put in an imaginary flight number. Cost index of 20. Use whichever cost index is appropriate for yourselves. And today we'll be flying at cruise altitude of 370 with a cruise temperature of minus 53 degrees Celsius. And then using the side arrow keys, you move to page 2. What we'll do is we'll just put in our fuel and weights into the aircraft configuration panel of the ISCS. So today we are carrying 153 passengers, and that was using PFPX. PFPX uses slightly lower weights per passenger, I believe, than the Toliss, and 3 of our passengers were children anyway, so we'll just match that with the zero fuel weight that we've calculated, which was 56,617. So we'll just add a little bit of extra cargo. So 56,617. There we go. So apply these load settings. That applies the passenger and cargo loads. And then with our fuel, we're going for 5427. So we'll go 55, and then click the quick refuel defuel button. Just keep that panel open because we'll be using it in a second. So zero fuel weight was 56.6 tons, and some people get a bit unstuck here, but you actually need to put the zero fuel weight centre of gravity in first. You can't just enter the zero fuel weight as a separate number. So I'll show you how it works. So you put 25.2 in, and then put a slash key in, and then 56.6, and all the input is using tons in the Airbus A320 series. The block fuel, 5.5 tons. Oops. And then that basically calculates all your flight data for weight and fuel. So move over to the flight plan page. To set your departure, you click up the soft key next to the left-hand side soft key next to the airport, and then click departure. So today we are taking off runway 27 right, and the SID is the det to Foxtrot, and no transition, so we insert that in. Now, as you notice, that populates the takeoff performance section of the ISCS. And then scroll down using the up and down keys to our last waypoint, which is det. Click on that, and then click the Airways button if you want to insert Airways. So we're going UL6 to DVR. Then UL9 to Conan. Seem to go via Conan quite a lot on our travels. Interesting to see where it is. Then UL607 to Ferdy. And then direct to Sutal. So you might, what we need to do is just actually insert those waypoints so far, and then we'll go down to 30, and then we'll put in Sutal next. And then click on Sutal to continue with the Airways. Surprised you can't just insert a direct waypoint in the Airways section, but I guess, because we are focusing on the Airways, that doesn't make sense. UN852 to Morocco. And then UZ24 to Akito, and that's the start of our star. So again, return, click the soft key next to the airport identifier for Geneva, and then click the arrival button. We are ILS runway 4, and the star is the Akit to November. Just make sure there's no discontinuities or gaps. Got to refresh my memory on how you get rid of discontinuities in the Airbus. Is there our delete key? There we go. Has that done it? No. I just need to look that up in a second, unless any of you guys know. I swear, with the Aerosoft, you can just press the clear button then next to the discontinuity, unless it's on the right hand side. Just give me 1 sec. That's interesting because it says it should have. Let's get to our flight plan and see where it's gone wrong. So that's Carad. Maybe I'm getting. No? We'll go back to our last point. So our last point was Morocco. I'll go from there. To Quito. I wonder if that's the missed approach. We'll go onto the plan page and just have a look. Yeah, there seems to be a gap there, unless there is unless basically the approach is vectors. Because it did say manual, didn't it? So perhaps there's always. Well, what we'll do is we'll just put in the arrival again. ILS04, and then it was the Akita to November, and then I'll just get the approach chart up, and then we'll compare it, and we'll just work out LSGG. Okay, we'll go via GVA. See if that helps. No, it's still manual. What we'll just have to do is go, when we get closer in, we'll just have to go direct to GVA. It's a bit of an awkward one, that. I've not come across that before in the Airbus, because usually it automatically puts in your arrival. Hello, Boris. Yes, flying the Airbus, indeed. Bit of a bizarre one. Just make sure there's no other way of just skipping that discontinuity out. So it's really high. Just feel like we'll be too high if we're at flight level 219 at that point as well. Just get rid of everything beyond the start of the start, and then we'll take it. We'll try again. So that's the runway. Where was it? So it was a Quito, wasn't it? What we'll do is we'll just go from... Yep, still no luck. Okay, we'll have to just do it manually then. Right, so we'll insert really messing me off, hang on. Perf, so flaps 1. 152, 152, and 154. Flaps THS, so it's 1, and then the THS is the up 1.1. And then flex temp is 66 degrees. And then the altitude is 370. QNH was 1021. And I think that's us pretty much ready to go. Just turn the radios on. Always forget to do that. Yep, so passengers are on board. We've got everything inputted into our flight data. Autopilot's ready. Let's put the APU on, and then we'll call the pushback truck. So beacon light on, just indicate that you're going to be starting engine soon. Master power on, and then the start button and the APU blue button as well. And then the lower ECAS display will show us the performance for the APU. And in the meantime, what we'll do is we'll get the doors closed. So APU is now online. So we will disconnect the ground power. And we will call the pushback truck.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
So we're not using obviously real time at Heathrow. I've just switched to daytime just so we can you know, get a good look at the Geneva scenery.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Just see if I can do it this way. Ah, there we go, that's worked. Perfect. Okay, so we fixed the flight plan issue. I don't know. I'm surprised. I don't know why that's part of the star at Geneva. Like I said, I've never come across that before. So we're Terminal 5.
And bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
We're at Terminal 5 at Heathrow and we're taking off from 27 right, so quite a long taxi down to the other end of the runway.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
So starting engine number 2. That's a good start of engine number 2. That's the starter cut off. And that's a good start, engine number 1. So we'll go flaps 1, and we'll arm the ground spoilers, auto brakes to max.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
And then we'll go to the flight control page.
Tow, stand by.
And we'll set the trim. It was up 1.1 actually, not 1.0. And then set that on the actual trim. And then we'll do flight controls check. So full left, full right, full up, full down, and then we'll get on the rudder pedals, full left, and full right. So once he's disconnected, we'll put on the taxi light, and then we're good to head on over to runway 27 right. The Airbus hydraulics sound like a screaming dog. Yeah, it's the PTU. So it's transfer the hydraulic pressure from the basically the right engine system to the left.
Toliss is connected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Beautiful Boeing 787 there. Which we desperately need for X-Plane. So we'll just look for that hand signal, and then we can head off. Which is currently being blocked by our window. Yep, so we're good to go. Aviator Gaming, hello! Welcome to the stream. So we'll switch the taxi light on, and then we can shut down the APU as well. Brake test, so the brakes are working fine. Searched X-Plane 11 and I got you here, excellent, well, welcome. So that's the takeoff checklist complete, auto brakes max, signs are on, cabin's ready, spoilers are armed. Flaps in the takeoff position and takeoff config as normal. So we'll go down Bravo. Thanks very much. I hope the flight goes well as well. No, we're using X-Plane, so this is this is the Toliss A319. The only thing about the Toliss I do know is the ground roll. There seems to be a lot of friction. I'm not sure that's entirely realistic. Do I know any good specs for X-Plane 11? Do you mean like computer hardware? Quite cool. That's a 747 in the old British Airways livery, which I know they are doing at the moment, but I don't know if that's actually deliberate or not. I'm a little bit busy to be looking at that just at the moment, Aviator. Just wait till we get into the cruise and then we can look into things. British Airways, a lot of American Airlines. Yeah, so like I said, I got an email today saying the scenery has been released, so I thought I'd give it a try. Not actually ever flown to Geneva. I think I have in real life, but not in a sim. Nothing wrong with being an amateur. You got it. Practice makes perfect, so you only get better. Well, I would just say aviator gaming is just that laptops don't tend to be the best for running sims, just by the nature of kind of what they are, and obviously they're built for portability, so they don't tend to be able to utilise hardware the best, unfortunately. Heathrow seems to be Air Canada, American Airlines, and British Airways terminal today. Except for what's that? Can't see. I think it's a Chinese airline. Maybe not actually, I don't know what that script is. So we will take the next left and then go via Lima and hold short 27 right. So we got a transponder on. rest we'll do as we taxi onto the runway. The AI aircraft seems to be taking off from 27 left, so that gives us a free runway. Nothing. There is something on the approach, but we've got plenty of time to get off the ground. That might be on approach for 27 left anyway. Nothing on the TCAS. Let's get the landing lights on. And the strobe. Takeoff checklist is complete. Let's get going. Engines are synchronized, looking good. Man flex SRS runway. Knots. P1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Receiver back to their climb position. Seems to be an aircraft just directly behind us, probably taking off from 27 left. It's so annoying. Let's go. So flaps up. We'll pop the autopilot on. So the transition altitude is 6,000 feet at Heathrow, so we'll go to standard shortly. So I hope you're enjoying the stream so far. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to get notifications about when I'm next streaming. We'll just carry on past the restriction because we're not using ATC. Right, let's switch to standard. So past 10,000, let's get the lights off. and give it a couple more thousand feet, and then we can release the passengers. Yeah, sorry Boris, I was responding to Aviator Game. I was like, yeah, I know you meant the engine sound. Yeah, the engine sounds really good. You're dancing along to it, were you? Very repetitive, wasn't it? City of London off to our left-hand side. As we carry on climbing. Just go on to the flight plan page. So I think we've passed the restrictions, so we'll go back onto manage mode. Okay, so let's release the passengers. We'll just increase the range on our map display as well. Ground speed's starting to creep up, and we're going 460 knots at the moment. I suspect as we turn right after 30, that'll go up a bit higher and then even higher after Sutal. And that's us at our cruise altitude. And we've crossed the channel and we're now flying over France. They've got a grass runway at Geneva, so it must be a general aviation part of the airport. Looks like that the traffic tends to be landing on runway 22 though, looking at the number of high-speed turn-offs that there are, whereas there's only one or two for runway 04, so I think we're doing quite an unusual approach. We'll just remind ourselves what the ATIS was there. 240, 2 knots. Yeah, well the runway 22 does actually make more sense. I don't know why PFPX took us that way. See if I can quickly replan that. Right, let's try and put this into the computer then. That's the SBR. Yeah, SPR makes sense. Got the same problem again, so we'll just put in SPR into the next waypoint section. That's good. And again, Akito into the next waypoint on this bit. There we go. Okay. So we've got a better runway for the wind by the looks of the airport charts, that actually does make more sense, because it does seem like the prevailing wind encourages that direction with the high speed turn-offs. It might make more sense with the geography of the area as well, the mountains. And you're saying that the approach is over the lake. Oh, very nice. Good. Okay, well that will make it a bit more interesting as well. ETA is the same regardless of the change of direction with the runway. And yeah, like you can see here, the approach is over the lake, so that'll be really nice. So I think we're coming in this way. And then you can see here basically what the FMC is doing is, because on the chart it says you're dictated by ATC when to come on to the kind of final approach. I guess it's just a way of spacing out the aircraft. Whereas we've just basically manually put it in so that we just join it when it makes sense. Some mountains in France. I think it's like the what's it called? Something Massif. See if it's on the map. Oh, it could just be the foothills of the Alps. Actually, looking at the no. So I think what I'm thinking of is kind of over here, isn't it? So yeah, no, it looks like we're approaching the foothills of the Alps now. And Geneva ahead. Okay, so we're getting close to the top of descent, so we'll start inputting our destination data. So we'll just get that from our ATIS. So QNH is 1019. Temp is 15. Winds are variable at 2 knots. I think they were 230 last time, so we'll put that in. Transition altitude is 7,000 feet. Like I said, we'll go full config. Decision height. It's 200. Yeah, 200 feet. Alright. And we'll put 7,000 into our autopilot. Pretty high final altitude before we set the glide slope. But there are a significant number of obstacles, mountains, etc. that we need to navigate around, so it does make sense. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the Airbus vertical, well, the equivalent of the VNav, I guess, the vertical path will appear on the PFD as a little pink circle, and as that goes down you actually need to manually hit the manage button to initiate the descent. So as you can see, just zoom in so you can see it a little better. The little pink dots appeared now, and then that'll start to move down as we get close to the top of descent. And what we'll do is we'll put that terrain radar on now. There's the vertical path, so down we go. So this looks like it's Lac de Neuchâtel. Lac de Neuchâtel. To our front left. And I think that's just the start of Lake Geneva appearing ahead of us. As we start the star. So the LS is the landing system and the CSTR is the constraints, which basically just gives you additional information on your altitude constraints at each waypoint. The landing system gives you your localizer and glide slope indicators. So passing 20,000 feet, let's get the passenger signs on. The Alps are starting to loom in the background. It's really cool. So that's the auto brake set to low. Don't really need to go to auto brake medium unless you're landing at a very short runway. There's Geneva. Absolutely huge lake. It dwarfs anything in the Lake District. I think I'm just about starting to see the airport here. Let's get the landing lights on. Hi Mike, nice to see you again. Good timing. Quite deceptive being at 12,000 feet and yet actually being so low off the ground. Fantastic scenery over there with the Alps. Definitely get some ortho scenery for around here. Should have thought of that one. So my ILS is now indicated on the primary flight display, well above the glide slope. As we turn right to intercept the localizer, we'll get flaps 1. So the glide slope's heading above us now. Okay, so approaching the transition altitude, so just get up to the ATIS estimate, and it's still 1019, so we'll switch over now. 1019. Just decelerating. Just go onto the perf page, make sure the approach phase activates. flaps 1. As we head over Lake Geneva. Field. Just arm the approach. Very beautiful, isn't it? So glide slope and localizer capture. And we'll go gear down flaps 2. And flaps 3. And the approach phase is activated successfully, so it looks like we're good to go. And let's enjoy this approach and take manual. And we'll go flaps 4. Hell of a long approach. So, landing checklist. Landing gears down with 3 green. Signs are on, cabin's ready, spoilers are armed, and flaps are full, so we're good to go. Landing. Knots. That's 80 knots, side or reverse. And we'll take manual brake. Reverse stowed. And we'll take the next left. Flaps up. Oh, the frames have just suddenly really dropped off. Lights off. Nose wheel to taxi. APU on. And terrain radar off. So we'll taxi into the gate and get all shut down, and then we'll do some replays of that landing. Frame rate's going horrendous. Thanks very much, Boris. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Taxi light off. Shut down engine number 2. That wasn't the best taxi into this gate. A little bit further. And there we go. And welcome to Geneva. So let's do some replays. Lastly,